Well, welcome to Thrive Thursday for Thursday, June 10th, 2021. We are rocking and rolling about a third way through June at this point. Well, probably exactly a third through June per my desk calendar. All right, well, today we're going to talk about our 321 on dealing with conflict. We've never had any of that. Writing books and working on the right level or working on the correct level. Let's maybe put it that way. All right, well, let's start with our three ideas, and I'm going to back out of here so you can see it big time, and then we'll talk a little bit later. All right, well, the first idea is convincing someone to change their mind is really the process of convincing someone to change their tribe. If they abandon their beliefs, they run the risk of losing social ties. You can't expect someone to change their mind if you take away their community too. You have to give them somewhere to go because nobody wants their worldview torn apart if loneliness is the outcome. And that's very, very important to remember, especially for you folks out there that are following our program and following really our mantra of helping other people. Is sometimes you have to give them a place to go, and that's one of the reasons why I love the A to B for Me community, the network, because it gives somewhere to go. When you're asking someone to change, and we ask a lot about every deep program we go into, we talk about who are the closest people that are around you, and how that they can either take you up or they can pull you down. And so we ask a lot of folks coming in and believing in all the self-improvement and positive self-change stuff, is we're having them abandon some of their old beliefs, but all their old beliefs are based on really the people that they've been hanging out with. And so we're asking them to change everything at once, and it can be kind of difficult. And I understand that when I'm working with folks, because you have to have somewhere to go. So you need to be there for your people. And we want to be there for you if you're with A to B for Me, because you are going through a lot of changes in your life. You're trying to better yourself, and a lot of times when you are out there trying to better yourself, other folks are saying, wait, you're going to leave me behind, so it happens a lot. I see it most often when in relationships, when one partner really decides to get fit. And they start eating right, and they lose weight, and they're looking great, and the other one really gets upset. And I tell you what, it's really strange how that can put stress on a relationship when one person's just trying to be better. Well, maybe the other person ought to get better with them, right? So you get skinny together, and I think if you're together long enough, you get skinny together and you get fat together, and you just end up loving each other regardless. So, but anyway, nobody wants to have their worldview torn apart and have loneliness at the same time. So if you're going to work with folks, be sure that they're for them to help them during their change. All right. Well, beat that one to death a little bit, but now if you think you can learn a lot from reading books, try writing one. And that is so true. And I see it all the time in the deep dives that we do. I go through and I read these books, and I read them and learn from them. But when I teach them and put them into deep dives and get the PowerPoints and dissect and diagnose all the things that are in these books, man, I can really learn a lot. A lot of people, they'll sit back and say, man, I can't believe you. Man, you're a pretty sharp guy. So, well, no, I just got there before you did. Way back in the day, I was in car sales. And when I first started, one of the general managers says, son, all you got to do is get to the sticker first. If you get to the window sticker first, just start reading that window sticker, and they're gonna think that you just know everything there is about this car, and they're gonna be amazed that you know everything about every car on the lot. So that's about what it's about. Just get there and really get deep into it, because I tell you what, if you think you can learn a lot from reading them, just try writing one sometime. All right, and I'm going to move back a little bit ahead to, we're going to have a quote down here in a minute by Joseph Juve, and he said, to teach is to learn twice. And so this kind of goes along with teaching. Whenever you have to set up a class and do something, I'll tell you what, that is really when you start learning, because to teach is to learn twice. All right, well, let's talk about the list of mistakes you can never recover from. Is very short, but you likely realize your life is not to be destroyed if your book doesn't sell, or if a potential date turns you down, or if your startup goes bust. It's not the failed outcome that paralyzes us. It's the possibility of looking stupid, feeling humiliated, or dealing with embarrassment that prevents us from getting started at all. And the first step to being courageous is being willing to look foolish. And that is really the difference between success and failure in just about anything. If you're willing to just put yourself out there and don't worry about it, and some of this just comes with maturity and with self-confidence and getting your perspective about yourself correct, that, hey, so what if I look stupid, or I mean, hey, I'm out there trying to make it happen, right? And it's like I was talking to someone the other day, and they said, yeah, just think about all the how stupid some things are, like the pool, the pool noodle. That guy's a multi-millionaire. Developed a pool noodle, right? Everybody's like, are you kidding me? What is that thing? It's got oranges and greens. What are you gonna do with that, right? Well, he went out there and did it and made it happen. Now the guy's multi-millionaire. So the first step to being courageous is willing to look foolish. Just get out there, look foolish. Let's fail forward. Let's get it going. The more you fail, the more you're gonna get better, because failing is just learning. So get out there and make it happen for yourself. All right, well, let's look at some quotes. Here's Joseph Jouvet. I just love the French Jouvert. I just love the way you get to pronounce French name. He was a French moralist, really essayist back in the 18th century. And one of the interesting things about Jouvert is that he never published anything while he was alive. All this stuff was done after he died. His widow, got his essays and things and said, "Hey, I don't know, you guys take a look at this. You think there's anything in here, right?" So I kind of feel like that might be my kids were running through all these massive. What are all these journals up in the attic that Dad's got, or down in the basement that Dad's got? They get through and look and say, "Man, we might be able to make some money off this." So hopefully you can, kids. Just look through those things. Don't throw them away. Let's read them. But he said in here. Never cut what you can untie. And that you really have to think about that one, because if you can untie it, it's just, I guess the basics of it would be, thinking about maybe a rope or something, but if you cut it, you've made it shorter, and you've kind of ruined it if you had a certain length. So take the time to untie it. But the same thing, with relationships. Don't cut them. Let's just untie them, and let's make sure that that everything's okay. There might be some frayed ends. You may need to lash those back together, put a little, some little lashing on the end of it, or maybe sometimes even fire them up, right, and burn them and get them to where the ends are fine. But Jouvert also had an interesting quote that said, "The aim of an argument or discussion should not be victory, but progress." So never cut when you can untie. Let's unravel the situation, see what it is, and see, find that point that you can grow from or bind from, and go from there. But don't worry about victory. Let's worry about progress. But never cut what you can untie. So take a little bit more time. And untie. I know I get frustrated sometimes when I got something all knotted up. I just throw this daggone thing away, right? All right. Well, author Marilyn Robinson on why she writes. Now, you may not have heard of Marilyn, but you probably should have. She's still alive. She's like 77 years old, but she's a Pulitzer Prize winner. I mean, multiple, you name it, she's had the prizes. And two of her big books were Housekeeping and Gilead, which you may have read. But she was interviewed one time. The interviewer said, "What led you to start writing essays?" And she said, "To change my own mind. I try to create a new vocabulary or terrain for myself. so that I open out. I always think of the Dutch claiming land from the sea, or open up something that would have been closed to me before. That's the point and the pleasure of it. I continuously scrutinize my own thinking. I write something and think, how do I know that's true? If I wrote what I thought I knew from the outset, then I wouldn't be learning anything new. And that's key there. Just keep in there, keep learning. You learn from yourself, and this will really happen when you start journaling. That's why I'm a real advocate of journaling. Get in there and just start writing, and you'll start learning so much about yourself. And I tell you, I've just held on to this quote from last week. If you weren't on the Thrive Thursday last week, go back and listen to it. But there was a quote at the end that said, what do you love doing so much that the words failure and success essentially become irrelevant? And I just held on to that because that is something to put in your journal and just think about every single week, and just make sure that you're doing something that you love so much that the words failure and success essentially become irrelevant. You just do it anyway. All right. Well, here's our question for the week. Am I working at the right level? Do I need to zoom in or zoom out? And that's another weekly reflection, something you really need to look at. If things, if my key actions, my key productive indicators aren't there, then what's going on? Maybe I'm not working at the correct level. Maybe I need to zoom out a little bit and let's see where I'm at, and get new perspective and get this plan rolling in the right direction. Or maybe, hey, maybe I'm really killing it. I just need to zoom in and get right in on it and make some things happen. But diagnose, whatever it is, zoom in or zoom out, but make sure that you're always working at the right level, because sometimes you can inhibit yourself both ways. If you're really, really, going great guns and you're in so tight that you can't see doom ahead. And sometimes you zoom out and you're so far out you can't get anything done. So be sure and maybe each week just do your own zoom in or zoom out. And not talking about getting on an online conference here. We're talking about magnifying and diagnosing your progress. But look at you might want to do that every week. Just zoom out and zoom in and make sure that you're in the right place for yourself. Well, all right. Well, that's it for this Thrive Thursday. Be sure I hope you enjoyed Wham yesterday. We talked about Breaking Bad. So if you didn't catch the Wham yesterday, go back and catch that. We did about Breaking Bad habits, and tomorrow on Finish Strong Friday, we're finally. I know you've been hanging in there with me on the self mastery, but we're finally getting to 10 of the best habits to master yourself and your world. And tomorrow we're going to go through 5, and I'm not going to tell you what they are right now, but I did put out a challenge to you yesterday to kind of comment me and let me know what your number 1 would be as far as the 10 best habits to master yourself in the world. And we'll kind of go over those tomorrow, see how you did. Doesn't matter really how you did. Your answer is your answer, right? Whatever you think it is, you're right for you. But I'm just interested to see what your one of your best habits are. All right. Well, I'm talking in here, and you're seeing the scroll the whole time, so I didn't take the scroll away from you, but at least you got that down, right? So let me take it out here now. But I want to say, have a great Thursday. Again, go back and check out Wednesday or all the mastery series, because I just decided to put an entire program there out for you for it's really a 5-week or session as far as online class is concerned, but and really mainly a 3/4 to 1 day, full day workshop if we did it. So there's really some value there for you. So I wanted to put that out for you for June to really get you kicked off for the second half of the year and get you rolling, get you thinking. But anyway, have a great Thursday. I will see you tomorrow, and as always, keep moving in the direction of your dreams, and we'll talk to you later. Have a great one.